Hello and welcome back to the Craft of Living. If you are new here, we talk about all kinds of things from tarot, metaphysical topics, crochet, and I just want to welcome you back if you have been here before. We are doing a pick a pile reading today as requested by Good Vibes XP1WP. Shout out to Good Vibes for requesting this. I don't typically do pick a piles anymore, as I found that I really enjoy working on the energies with the one-on-one. But for you today, for Valentine's, I would love to do this, and it's super fun to play with the energies today. So the question we'll be asking today will be, what do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? What do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? And I will be naming all of the decks that I've used in this reading, but for now, you may need to pause the video as you do with any other pick a pile and meditate on which pile your intuition calls to you the most. So we have the Rose Quartz Star, we have the Heart Labradorite, we have the Unicorn Amazonite. Let's go ahead, pause here, and just that quick first impulse on which one you're drawn to most, and we're going to go with that one, and I will see if I can do timestamps in the description below for your ease of use, and we will see you back on your pile. Welcome pile number 1. If you have chosen the Rose Quartz Star, this is your pile. And let's get started today with your read. So what do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? We have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Wands, we have the 6 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. So let me just unpack this for a moment. So with the 10 of Pentacles, what do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? I get that there's a lot of roots in your family, roots in that connectedness. Now this read is for whether you're in a relationship currently or whether you are looking to manifest a relationship for all 3 piles. It's kind of just what do I need to know about experiencing romantic love in general. So with the 10 of Pentacles, I get a lot of family connectedness, a lot of helping out, a lot of that community, but that family community positively based in your life. But that sometimes in that setting, now this can be also in-laws, or your partner's family, or if you don't have a partner, your own family. But there sometimes can be challenge in the passions or what you want to do and bring forward in your life, and other people tend to challenge you on your thoughts and your feelings and your beliefs on what you feel is right for you in your heart. With the 5 of Wands here, there's some discord, some disagreements with the passions at the 5 of Wands here. And with the 6 of Pentacles coming up right next to that, it tells me there's a need for give and take here. Maybe not so hard-headed on one strong thing, but a bigger overview on the whole situation. Still staying true to your heart, but being good at giving and receiving, listening and talking. Not only having your own passions have to be acknowledged or respected only, but also respecting the other person's side and feelings too, as it makes it part of the whole. And with the Ten of Swords here at the very end, there's an ending of some sort of way of thinking that might be kind of abrupt and kind of shocking. And this can also be a letting go of holding on stubbornly to a belief that really isn't getting you very far. It's really not getting you anywhere. And it may feel a bit shocking because the Ten of Swords tends to be, it feels almost like a slap in the face. But once you're able to let go of that sort of hard-headedness of being in that logical mind and not really taking the time to drop into your heart, because I see that there is a lot of root family connectedness happening in your life, but just that it gets kind of muddied with this argument, and there's a need to be giving and receiving of ideas, of acts of kindness. Maybe you're a person that likes to do everything on your own and just have it done your way. And the Six of Pentacles speaks about harmony and having that balance be brought into experiencing that romantic love in your life. And in doing so, that may require you to let go of some beliefs that weren't really helping you. Some beliefs maybe possibly stemming from childhood, that, oh, it's supposed to be this way, or it's supposed to be experienced this way, but it's really not doing you any good to hold on to those beliefs, and it's kind of doing you more harm, that has you feeling kind of like you're trying to paddle up a stream. But the good thing about the Ten of Swords is that there is a sunrise on the horizon, and there is rescue available. If you can see this card here and focus on it, the ship has wrecked your thought process. So remember, the swords have everything to do with your logical mind, your thoughts, your beliefs. Not so much to do with your emotions, but your purely logical mind. So that's kind of eradicating your heart and just staying up in that logical mind. It kind of gets shattered and kind of blown to bits. And, you know, this can also be having like a martyr attitude of something. Like, you know, this is the way that it's got to be done. But really, it just needs to be broken apart, that way of thinking, so that you can board a new vessel. There's hope in sight, right? There's a horizon. There's a new dawn beginning and waiting for you. And who knows what's on this boat, right? This could be the beginning of a new relationship. This could be a new take on the relationship that you're already in, but something that you've been kind of holding on to, of maybe even, just maybe martyr type of energy that you've just really been kind of holding on to, is being blown to bits, because it's really just not helping you right now. But see, there's a life raft here. There's lots of things to float on. You're not left to just sink. You can choose to hold on and set your sights on starting a new beginning there. And that means having new thought processes, being open to new and healthier ways to believe, and think about experiencing romantic love in your life. So I just want to get a little bit deeper into each card before we move on. So we have the Ten of Pentacles starting off, and it's just that long-term success, completeness, family riches. So you may even have your own family going right now. You may have kids, you may not. You may just have connectedness in your own family, which gives you a great foundation for a new love. And if you are already in a relationship, maybe you have good, solid connections with your current family, your natal family, and your family in-laws. feeling of having it all. And also meaning like financially secure, you feel pretty healthy, trust that you will always have what you need and desire. It's a very good positive card here. And with the Five of Swords, you have this feeling of this good, complete unit of family, but there's a bit of defensiveness or disagreement or conflict going on where everyone's fighting to be heard. And this doesn't necessarily even have to be negative. It's just everybody wanting their say when it comes to you experiencing your romantic relationship. Maybe that's getting in the way of what your true feelings are, or maybe you're taking too much stock in what other people are saying, or maybe you are being too headstrong, and there does need to be a reciprocity here where you are giving a little and taking a little. But it's really, yeah, just choosing to pick your battles wisely is far less draining than partaking in every disagreement. Like if you are partaking in every conflict, you're feeling its toll right now. Be willing to admit when you're wrong and apologize to make amends, and understand when you're being overly defensive to justify your behavior. Let go and move on to seek common ground. So these things might be getting in the way of you really experiencing romantic love in your life, is having that kind of headstrong type of opinion. And with the Six of Pentacles following it right after, trust that you can give without the fear of losing your inner and outer resources, that you can give and that you can receive without losing the heart of who you truly are and what you truly want in this life, and understanding when you have limiting or hurtful beliefs that don't really help you along the way. Yeah, it's just having that fulfillment in your heart and the cycle of abundance returning to you. So maybe you feel like if you give, you're not going to get anything back. Or maybe that you give too much and you're not really feeling the reciprocity there. Or maybe you don't want to give and you feel like you're kind of tapped out on energy already. But this is kind of inviting you to be vulnerable and be strong and go back and forth and find that balance between the two, because I do see that you do that, because if you weren't doing that, it would be in reverse. So keep doing that and listening and talking. It's, you know, that balance of action, of doing action for somebody and then receiving action back from them, letting people do things for you. If you're the one that always gets tea for your partner, and you just feel like, oh, they don't need to serve me, I can do this, it's totally fine, they deserve it. Well, you deserve it too. And they can get tea for you also. And you can sit back and do nothing. Sometimes that's hard for us to do sometimes. But that's why that kind of belief system needs to be broken up, so that we can experience a better way of being. So Ten of Swords, just to get a little bit deeper into the Ten of Swords. It's just an inevitable and necessary ending that may feel sudden. Remember to not get stuck in the victim role here in hopes of being rescued. Only you can pick yourself up and move on. That's why you have the life ring there, so that you can choose to swim towards that new beginning. You can choose to leave all these fragments of your old beliefs that were holding you back and holding you down, and leave them behind. You're gonna choose life and forward movement, even though it's scary, right? Traversing in this little space here of this open water might seem scary, to leave the familiarity of, you know, what you used to believe behind, in hopes that you're actually going to catch this new beginning. But do it anyway, because you're the only one that can really choose to swim towards this boat. This boat is not pictured as it's heading directly towards you, right? So this does not denote that you can just sit back and not have to do much of anything and you can just be rescued. No, it's going to take a little bit of conscious awareness on what beliefs are actually holding me back. What am I thinking constantly that actually kind of defeats me? What am I thinking? What belief defeats me and makes me feel depleted? because I have a choice here to swim to a new way of thinking and believing, but I need to make that choice. Because if you choose to just sit here in this rubble, this boat is going to pass you on by. That horizon is going to come and go. That opportunity is going to come and go. So this is your chance to swim to this life raft here and get kicking. And that means mental practice every day of like, okay, am I doing that thing? And having that mental awareness. I know sometimes that can be a bit hard as we get caught up in life, but that's basically what I feel that's trying to tell you right there. So moving on to our next cards, we have for you, we have Perfectionist. See, so there's something, yeah, I definitely get there with wanting things to be a certain way. Heavy heart. How did I know heavy heart was going to come out in this first read? Interesting. As soul contracts. And you are worthy. So talking about that cup of tea thing, like, oh, let me be the one that serves you all the time. You don't have to do that for me. I'm fine. And learning to have that reciprocity in your romantic relationship also helps your partner pick up that other end, you know, because it is a partnership and it isn't just one person, which I know you know already, but it's always good to just remember, especially when you're coming from feelings of unworthiness. It's just like, oh, let me just do it all. Well, that needs to go, and you need to choose something different. And although it might feel foreign and vulnerable, especially right here in the open ocean, like we talked about, you're still going to go forward because you're going to have hope that this new beginning of your thought process doesn't have to be a new relationship or anything like that. Or if you're in a current relationship, it doesn't have to be the ending of that one so you can get a new one. It doesn't mean that necessarily at all. It just means there's something within you, your perspective needing to shift, right? So let's continue on here. So we have Perfectionist. And remember, in all my readings, take what resonates and toss the rest. Are you being too hard on yourself? Let go of the need to do everything perfectly. There's no such thing as perfection. Perfection is a matter of perception. What you think is perfect is not the same as what others think of as perfect. It's all in the eye of the beholder. When you set unrealistic standards for yourself, you keep yourself from accomplishing anything at all. Nothing is ever completed because in your mind, nothing is ever good enough. See, I really get that with the Ten of Swords over here and the Six of Pentacles. This gives way for an all or nothing way of thinking. Every person is doing the best they can with the challenges they face. Your angels and guides come to you today and ask you to take a look within yourself and identify all the ways you put too much pressure on yourself. They remind you to enjoy the journey rather than judging your journey. You are being asked to see yourself with compassion and to allow yourself to make mistakes. When you receive this card in a reading, it is a message to allow yourself to be human. You are human. Making mistakes is part of being human. You will accomplish all that you set out to do once you take some pressure off yourself. You are perfect in all your ways. Your mistakes and the quirky things about you are what make you so perfect. Embrace who you are and free yourself from unrealistic expectations. You are also being asked to let go of unrealistic expectations of others. It is time to allow yourself and others the freedom to color outside the lines. As I feel like this standard of living in your romantic relationship, whether it is you're aspiring to have this romantic relationship, whether it is you're dating, whether it is that you're in a long-term marriage, doesn't matter. It's going to apply because you chose this pile wherever you're at in life. But this perfectionist attitude of trying to make this perfect diamond really leads you to have a heavy heart. And we're going to go into that one here. There's a feeling of this sadness around you, and it comes from that feeling of really never quite being enough, and also that feeling of not feeling worthy. It's like that feeling of loss. When we are shut down by turning off our feelings, we become numb to pain, and we begin to become numb to life in general. This is when we build a layer of protection around our heart to keep from getting hurt. The layer of protection can sometimes keep love from going out, and it keeps love from coming in. Love is the essence of all life. It is the connection that each person is yearning for. When we cut ourselves off from it, life becomes bleak. Your angels and guides are coming forth to guide you through it. Through acknowledging your pain, you can awaken. You will experience life in a different way, and life will never be the same. It is through your own pain that we learn to cultivate compassion and self-awareness. Ask yourself, how do I feel? What do I need to know to release this heaviness that is present in my heart? You may feel the need to cry, or you may feel the need to get angry. Allow whatever you feel to come forward. Just be present with it. Do not judge it, just allow. So when they say just be present with it, they mean don't be afraid to feel those, what you may perceive to be negative emotions. Because the longer you try to distract yourself or numb yourself or scroll on social media or watch TV or go to work or pay attention to your kids or pay attention to your spouse, whatever it is, the longer you distract yourself from feeling those feelings, ironically, the longer they get drawn out. So when you are able to face it and sit with it, where do I feel it in my body? Do I feel it in my gut? Do I feel it in my chest and heart? Do I feel it in my throat? When you're able to sit with those feelings, you find that it's something that you can tolerate because it kind of passes much quicker than you would ever realize. And in doing so, you become an alchemist of your feelings and you're able to transform them and allow them to be something different. But when you ignore them or numb out from them, you kind of solidify them into state until it's like your body's saying, all right, you don't want to deal with me right now. I'll hold on as long as you want me to hold on until you're ready to really see me. Because I need to be felt, I need to be heard, I need to be experienced. And I'll hold on as long as it takes. And this is where things can kind of turn into even when you get a common cold or even something more advanced than that. But it'll hold on until you're ready to sit there with it. And when you do, it kind of loosens up. Some people have tingly feelings. Some people have warmth feelings afterwards. They feel it. And it moves on into other things, opens up to receive other feelings and emotions. Just be present with it. Do not judge it. Just allow. You are getting ready to experience a heart opening that will help you unconditionally love yourself and others. And then we have soul contracts here. The human mind tends to try to understand its experience and therefore may make false conclusions and assumptions in order to satisfy its need for understanding. This card comes to you today because you may have been having a hard time understanding your life circumstances. You could be confusing your situation by comparing your life to others around you. It's important for you to understand that your life in its entirety is a beautiful co-creation between you and spirit. What you believe is bad about your life is actually the colors that your soul requested for this particular experience. If you grew up in a dysfunctional family, you might try to define your experience as unfortunate when, in actuality, you contracted to have these experiences with these particular people and souls at this time. You have specific things that you set out to learn and experience for your soul's evolution. There is neither good nor bad, there is only experience. As you begin to see the beauty in all that you have experienced, you can let go of these false assumptions that are causing you the unpleasant emotions of pain and grief. Even though you have contracted certain experience for your soul's growth, you also have free will. It is how you choose to respond to the events that create your future. There is a blessing in the life that you have been given, no matter how challenging it seems. You can create even more beautiful colors from the palette that your soul offers. What colors you choose to create is entirely up to you, right? It's coming out right underneath this reciprocity and this 10 of Swords, which is that ending of that way of thinking or that way of behaving or that belief of some kind, right? And moving on to you are worthy. You are purging old wounds that keep you feeling like no matter what you do, it is never enough and you are never enough. So this parallels this perfectionist card here. So this really tells me that you got that going on, and that is the thought process that needs to be released right now. These feelings are projecting this energy out into the universe and creating experiences that continue to validate your feelings of unworthiness. So that means if you really believe that you're unworthy and you don't think that you deserve stuff, people will actually treat you that way, and they'll shortchange you on your order. When you ordered a large, they'll give you a small, and then you'll just be like, oh, well, I accept it. I probably didn't speak up loud enough anyway, and I don't care. I paid for a large, but that's all right. I don't want to cause any waves. I'm just going to take the small and go. They're not doing it consciously. Some of them are, but most of them are not. They're doing it unconsciously because they're matching your vibration. People treat you how you expect to be treated, right? So if you're coming from that place of woundedness, not enoughness, you kind of tend to have different experiences like that. So that's why there's a need to end that and to choose something different so that you can move towards a different way of being, right? It's time to heal this confusion within your heart and release past experiences that keep these feelings alive. It is not your relationships that make you feel unworthy. It is your belief that somehow you are damaged, that you are flawed, that you will never be good enough. It is time to ask yourself what it is that you are not good enough for. What are you measuring your belief against? Who are you comparing yourself to? This card comes to you today to remind you of who you really are. You are a beautiful expression of divine light and love. You are perfect just the way you are. You need not try to be anything but the magnificent soul that you are. Everything you are and everything you do has its own vibration. You cannot possibly be like anyone else because your energy and soul vibration are unique to you. It's time for you to embrace what is unique about you. So that was also talking about that in Heavy Heart, I think, and Perfectionist. The little quirky things you do are not flaws or something damaged from your natal childhood. It's actually one of your strengths. Even if it gets on your partner's nerves or you're worried it'll get on your future partner's nerves, that's one of the things that's lovable about you. Everything you are and everything you do has its own vibration. You cannot possibly be like anyone else because your energy and soul vibration are unique to you. You must love everything about you that makes you special and different from everyone else around you because you do things differently. You look different and you are different because you are like no other. Not only are you enough, but you are special and perfect just the way you are because that's the way Source made you. And that you knew you were going to have success with these certain personality quirks in this lifetime. There's no mistake. It's if you are willing to embrace it rather than reject it or villainize those traits within yourself. All right, so moving on to the Inner Child Healing Oracle as our center focus of point here. You are the light of the world. And we have Thich Nhat Hanh here, that beautiful Vietnamese guru. Oh my gosh, so wonderful. This is the last card in the deck. It's a very poignant card. And your message is, any moments you doubt yourself or forget the light within you, remember that you have your cosmic body. You are the daughter of the sun and the daughter of Mother Earth. You are here to not play small and safe. You are here to remember the light within you and share your light with people around you and the world. Your presence is the gift of the world. By you being who you are and living your life fully and purposefully, you awaken and raise the earth's consciousness. This card is a reminder, remember your ancestors. Okay, so that's what the Ten of Pentacles is talking about too. So if none of the things I mentioned in the beginning of the reading about in-laws or your own natal family of origin, it's speaking to your ancestors and your lineage in this life. Remember where you came from and remember that you are beyond any form you identify with by remembering your ancestors. Let yourself sit and feel your essence, your own unique expression. Shine. It is the way you share your light with yourself and with the world. You are blessed to receive this card today. You are blessed by Ascended Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh. Take this moment as a legacy moment where you see and receive yourself as a light of the world. So your practice is at the beginning and end of every day. Practice sitting with yourself. Bring your awareness to the center of your being, the center of your body, and set an intention to take yourself into your own core essence. Tap in, connect with this essence, and then start acknowledging some of your good qualities. These might be generous, curious, loving, joyous, and courageous. Feel and be with that energy for a few minutes each day. Journal how you feel and what changes you experience as you practice taking yourself to the core essence every day. So, lastly, I have breathe. Inhale, exhale, create space within. Rest. So give yourself a rest from that constant egoic mind chatter that is always telling you, well, what did you do that for? That was such a silly choice. Or why didn't you do this a different way? Or why are you arguing with that person? And just like kind of replaying things in your mind over again of how you weren't cutting it. You weren't quite up to snuff of what you were, your own expectations that are crazy and unbelievable. This is saying, give that a rest and let that go. Give yourself time to recuperate and really feel those feelings that we talked about earlier so that you can experience something different and something more, because you have some happy endings coming here, and it's the end of a chapter, and it comes out right underneath the 10 of Swords, which is an ending. But remember, we talked about that new horizon and that new beginning, and this card is just affirming that there's happy endings. You're ending a chapter in your life, you're up leveling, and you're moving on to greener pastures. If you choose to, remember, you have to actually do those things. Sit in the heart space. Ask yourself those questions. It doesn't have to be sitting in a lotus position, quiet, unencumbered in, a bedroom or a closet somewhere. You can actually, it can be while you're driving on your long commute. Turn the radio off, maybe even put meditation music on, or not. Just make sure that you're not distracting yourself from what you need to be doing and where your focus needs to lie. And you're just kind of sitting there with your emotions. You can be at the park even. Maybe you're take a time for a bath, but give yourself at least 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. I know you can scrounge up 20 minutes somewhere within your day, whether it means getting up earlier or staying up a little bit later. There's 20 minutes somewhere within your life where you can kind of shift that's going on. All right, pile number 1, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found some clarity and some healing in this reading for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the description below on how this resonated with you. And until we see each other again next time, peace. Okay, pile number 2. Pile number 2. If you chose pile number 2, this is for you. This is the Heart Labradorite. Let's see if we can make her shine for you without the glare. There she goes. Beautiful, deep blue color. So we'll begin your reading here of what do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? What do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? Ooh, okay. What do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? Let me just take this in. So we have the King of Cups. In this deck, they call it the Enlightenment of Cups. The Eight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. What do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life? So starting off with the King of Cups, I see there's a need to balance your emotions or your emotional reactions to things, that fluctuating feeling within you. Maybe it's in wanting to manifest a romantic love, or maybe it's in your current relationship when you get triggered. But there's a balance that is needing to come more into your life with your emotions, and really taking on that embodiment of cups there, that king energy. And yeah, just really finding that balance so that your boat isn't completely rocked off balance, so that it's a little bit hard to navigate. And what I see with the Eight of Pentacles is you are working on your physical self. You're working on maybe even yourself in the relationship, and how you are in the relationship. You're bringing in new information, new ways of behaving, new ways of acting, new physical activities, and new ways of thinking. So you're kind of open right now. I see there's a new beginnings in the physical area and in the ways of thinking. Maybe you're starting a new relationship. Maybe you're looking at your current relationship with new eyes and new ways of being and acting, because it is a work in progress as you hone this ability. I like to see that there's new ways of thinking with you, that you're open to new ways of thinking and new ways of believing and also acting. But that also some balance needs to come into a little bit more of the emotional aspect. So let's get a little bit deeper into the embodiment of cups, pile number 2. Or the King of Cups. I like this deck. It's they don't use any queen or king or page. They just kind of use totally different words for those titles. So when the King of Cups or the embodiment of cups is in reverse, you can be prone to emotional upset or drama, allowing outside circumstances or people or events to trigger you, leading you to feel moody, depressed, anxious, and unpredictable. Maybe you need more self-compassion for yourself as you go through these changes and navigate some turbulent waters. Maybe you're hyper self-critical, beating yourself up over little things that have gone wrong or that don't meet your expectations. This card invites you to seek to understand the root cause of your emotions and how they impact your life. Other circumstances may trigger emotional reactions, but it's up to you to practice control, like the king, right? Or the master. Doesn't even have to be king or queen, it could be master, right? The embodiment is the master. They're the master of their emotions because they realize when their emotions get triggered and something throws them off and gives them, as Abraham Hicks would say, an emotional wobble. It gives them a wobble. And okay, so I'm wobbling right now in my vibration, which means that you're having some sort of reaction that you're not happy about, right? To some sort of outside trigger. And what does she say that you can do to get yourself back into that wobble-free zone is to go general. Well, okay, I'm operating off of like 4 hours of sleep, and I've been putting myself under a lot of pressure. So, and it's not just about making excuses for yourself. It's about really trying to understand having compassion for yourself and understanding where you're at, because you are a work in progress here. But really coming back to this one, it's just really practicing that, and also be sure that you're not repressing your emotions, keeping them bottled up, for withdrawing, even fearing that what might happen if you're to confront your emotions. Like, it just might be a Pandora's box of explosion. You might have confusion. You might feel like you're drowning in overwhelmment. You might need to seek help. Seeking help of your choosing can help navigate these waters better, whether that's a trusted friend or a counselor or a teacher or a guru, or some sort of help might help you navigate these waters a little bit better. But that's what I see with the embodiment of cups showing up in reverse there. And getting a little bit more into the Eight of Pentacles, you're honing this mastery of yourself. And this can be in your career, your talents, your gifts, your ability, and money, and physical health, and your relationship. You're really working on being your best self. If you're in a relationship, you're working on being that best partner by being your best self. If you're not in a relationship, you're working on being your highest vibration so that you can feel good. And when you feel good, you raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration, law of attraction brings more good things to you, including what you've put in your emotional and vortex about that partner that you really want in your life. So the Eight of Pentacles is really that mastery, the diligence and hard work, furthering your education, knowledge to support your skills, refinement, your forging. Keep doing what you're doing and it will lead to success. So I really love that. In this picture they have, bring it close so you can see. So you have a tattoo artist tattooing. She's working on her skill. She's tattooing the service dog of a German Shepherd. And she's really refining her skills as she draws every tiny little hair on his face. So it's just working diligently toward the mastery of that within you. And with the Ace of Pentacles showing up, it's that new beginnings, new opportunities, potential, germination in the physical world pertaining to the material world, like your finances, your wealth, your relationship. It's a sign of a green light that you can achieve what you have set your mind to and manifest it into being. With planning and determined effort, you can turn your ideas into something tangible. So this is that diligent work is saying you're going to be successful in manifesting that physical connection, physical relationship, because remember the Ace of Pentacles can signify a new relationship, a new career, a new physical routine, a new meal plan, nutritional habits, so forth, things like that, into your life. And with the Ace of Swords here, it's the seed of a new idea and a new thought, consciousness, a revelation, a new understanding, a perspective. You're in expansion mode. And I love the vibrant colors here. It's just so inspiring on this new thought process that you're doing. It's the start of a new phase of life, embracing new ideas, stimulating and learning something new. Now is a great time to start a new project that requires your intellect and communication skills and mental power. Draw upon this Ace's motivation. You are at the beginning of your journey with energy building and cannot wait to get started. The road may be bumpy, but maintain success mentality to overcome adversities. So I really love this card for you in this pile number 2. Moving on to your next pile, we have Wishing on a Star. We have Conscious Living. We have Soar. And we have Bumpy Ride. So isn't that what this card just said? Although it may be bumpy, and when you're learning and honing your craft, and when you're trying to navigate your triggering emotions, these old wounds possibly that you've had for a while that keep getting triggered, it does become a bit of a bumpy ride. So we'll look into that card in a minute here. We're going to start on Wishing on a Star. So wishing on a star, before you can begin to manifest all that you desire, let's bring it up close for you. You need to be specific about what it is you want to create. You can't create without dreaming first. This card comes to you today because you may have left behind a dream that is calling you back from your soul. What have you been wanting to create that you have talked yourself out of? And I don't see that with you, pile number 2. I see that this dream that they're talking about here, you've actually begun to pick it up again. And you've actually had new outlooks towards it right now. And it may have been a dream from your past, but you have begun to work diligently toward it. Now, I mean, this may be in your career. This may be the dream of your ideal relationship, but really it's something that fills your heart with lightness, because that is the best way to have a healthy romantic relationship is when you're filling your heart with lightness about your passion and your dreams, right? You become the best version of yourself, which makes you an automatic attractor to your most ideal partner. And it makes you more attractive if you're already in a relationship. So, wishing on a star, allow yourself to indulge in the infinite possibilities once again. Begin to imagine what your life would look like if you could achieve something that is important to you. This card symbolizes infinite possibilities and is a reminder for you to dream big and to believe that it is possible. Through meditation, reconnect with your deepest desires. Get into a relaxed state and put all of your focus into your heart area and ask the questions, what dream do I have that I may have given up on? What fears do I have that keep me from believing in my dreams? Infinite possibilities are all around you now. This card shows up for you today because you have a dream that is not only important for you, but also important for all those around you and all of the people that it will affect and all of the lives that you will touch when you choose to express this dream. Do not give up. Get back into creating. You have a dream that can be realized as long as you continue to align with the magic of infinite possibilities. So that is what I see with the Ace of Pentacles. You're starting something new and you're beginning that dream. So I really love that for you. So we're going to go into conscious living here. Are you on autopilot regarding the choices you make in your daily life? It is time to change your unhealthy habits and create space for a healthier way of living. This card comes to you today to ask you to be mindful of the way you take care of yourself. You are being guided to change your diet. Exercise more, take better care of yourself in general. See, in this card, if you're already doing that and you've already taken that step, this card is just saying keep doing it because you need to keep doing it. And if you haven't even begun to start that, this is the invitation to start that. It's your little nudge, your little God wink, as I call it, from Source, saying, okay, that thought that you had the other day that you easily ignored and bowled over with something else is getting back at you right now and saying, hey, remember me? Don't forget, let's start it, come on. If you have a habit or addiction that you've been wanting to let go of, now is the time to do it. Because also, when you start these things, you are able to experience romantic love more fully in your life. Choose to make the changes that are necessary for your overall health and well-being. These changes are the answers to your prayers. Things cannot get better until you let go of or change the things that are causing you to feel lethargic, weighed down, and low on energy. It is time for you to be conscious of the way you are living. Choose to live healthier, eat healthier, move more, and pay attention to how your body feels. As you do this, you shift your relationship with yourself. And when you treat yourself with love via the choices you make, your self-esteem will benefit from it as well. You will start to feel more confident, healthier, and happier. By choosing to live consciously, you are choosing to love yourself as well. As you love yourself and honor yourself by the way you choose to live, you invite in more changes that reflect your new level of self-awareness. Ooh, such a good card. Yeah, I really think that that's a confirmation of those new beginnings for you. And when you start to do this, even though it may be triggering in an emotional way, you continue to work diligently toward these new beginnings and new ways of acting, believing, eating, exercising, relationshiping, and thinking, you will begin to soar. So you've been waiting for this moment. I'm going to bring this card up. So beautiful. The moment when everything begins to line up in the most magical of ways to allow you to soar above all obstacles and experience new opportunities and adventures. This card represents a time in your life when you are allowing yourself to experience the joys that life has to offer. You are no longer standing in your own way out of fear and resistance, but instead you are embracing life and calling forward all the beauty that life has to offer. And I really get that from you, pile number 2, with the 8 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. This is just beautiful. So things are beginning to line up, though they still may be emotionally triggering. Or even if they're triggering you and you're suppressing those emotions, you're still making those steps forward. This card suggests that you've been working hard to let go of the past and embrace the present. It is as if you have been reborn and you have a second chance to make the most out of life. You have a feeling that life is too short to waste your time worrying about the little things. You would much rather spend your time dancing in the rain, or exploring the world, or breathing the fresh air and spending time with the people you love the most. You are truly entering a time in your life when life becomes about living life to the fullest. Get ready for new adventures, because you are about to soar to new heights and experience things that you once did. You're ready. Sorry about that, but you're getting ready to soar to new heights and experience things that you once did not believe were possible. You're getting ready to experience things you did not once believe were possible. So this is shifted, right? We talked about that. So love that for you. And as you are soaring, don't be surprised if there's a little bumps on the way. There's nothing wrong with a few bumps along the way. So bumpy ride. There are no promises that changes that you are getting ready to make will be easy. What is easy, really? Easy in what way? And when things are easy, I feel like we don't value them the same, and we're not really trying hard. It just kind of happens and lands in our lap, and then it goes away quickly too when that happens, right? Like if we're not really honoring the process that we're going through, doesn't mean that it has to be hard, but that it's going to challenge us a bit, because when things come without much consciousness in it, just comes without us really thinking about it, we tend to not give it as much value. And it doesn't mean that you have to go through strife and heartache in order to really value it. It just means there needs to be some consciousness there in what you may be experiencing. And some of those things that you go through, you know, like if you're starting a new diet plan, you're going to make some changes. You're going to be challenged. You're going to want to eat those old things you've always had before, especially when you get emotionally triggered. You're going to want to go right back to that comfort food, or, you know, that thing that you do. And you're going to have to make some different choices. That comes with the Ace of Swords, different choices, different ways of thinking. You may be afraid that something is too hard and that it won't be easy. But the truth is, easy and hard are just words that create feelings within us, and both stop us in our tracks to move us forward effortlessly. Ease and hard are both a matter of perception. There will be bumps along the way, and that is okay. Don't let your mind convince you that it is too hard or that it can't be done. It can be done, and all you need to do now is take it one step at a time. The words that you use to describe your experience will impact your emotions. Practice speaking to yourself in a way that helps you become open to the changes you are getting ready to make. Instead of saying, "This is too hard, I'm never going to make this happen," try saying, "I am open to this new journey and all the things I will learn along the way." Prepare yourself to enjoy the ride, including all the bumps along the way. They are part of the fun. This is your sign to keep going and to do what you are being called to do now, and in the end, it will be worth the bumpy ride. Ooh, gosh, I love that. Because, you know, when we make these changes, you're just like, oh, it's going to be a total breeze. Well, no, it's like when a baby learns how to walk. And, you know, a baby learning how to walk is pretty much the most natural thing, right? Like my previous example. And it doesn't mean they have to go through strife and suffering in order to learn how to walk. But it does mean that when they fall down, they get back up again and they take another step. And when they fall down, it might hurt a little and it might trigger their emotions and they might have a little bit of a rock. Doesn't make it hard. It just makes an experience, right? It's a progressive experience, because walking is the most natural things to human. It's going to happen no matter what. You just have to trust the process and always come back to standing up again and getting up again and again and again and again and again and again, right? It doesn't end. And that doesn't make it painful or like a marathon. because it's not going to be the same exact experience every time you get back up again. You're going to get up to a new level every time. You're going to get up to a new height every time. That little kid that falls down and tries again gets a little better every time they try again. So try to keep it, you know, that in mind when you're doing this new thing. So next we have honor the light in you and others, 44. Honor the light in you and others. Dear you, beautiful you, this card wants you to know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. The same goes for others. Each being is a beautiful creation with a unique gift inside, waiting to be discovered so we can shine our light. During your childhood and adolescent years, you may have been conditioned to believe that there is something wrong with you. That is not truth at all. The more you look at yourself and others through a lens of kindness, compassion, and curiosity, the more you will discover that each individual has a unique light shining from every cell of their body. No light shines better or more brightly than any other light. Therefore, recognize the fear and jealousy you may encounter in your life so that you can smile at these feelings and let them go. Excuse me. Each light shining in its full potential supports and invites all other lights to do the same and shine in their unique expression. Let yourself witness your own light, shine your own light, and allow other people the freedom to do the same. The more you see your own light, the more you will see the light in others. This is your practice for this card. Sit with yourself and come into your body. Feel the earth beneath you and allow the earth's energy to flow up into your feet, legs, belly, torso, and all the way to your crown. Take your time to feel this supportive energy flowing through you. Some people feel tingling sensations, some people feel warmth. Sometimes people feel pain, energy moving through your body. It isn't always a pleasant experience. Sometimes there's tightness and constriction in your body that make you experience a little bit of pain. Just embrace this for now as you do this meditation and allow these energies, positive, benevolent energies, to flow through you. Remaining open, allow the heavenly energy to come through the top of your head to your face, neck, torso, legs, and all the way to your feet. Take your time to feel this supportive heaven energy flowing through you. Place your hands on your core just above your belly button. Feel this energy center and your core essence. Breathe in and out. Relax and feel this space. As you connect with your center, ask yourself, what is my greatest quality and gift? What is my core essence? Listen, feel, and claim it for yourself. Allow yourself to receive your core essence fully and allow this essence to expand from your center into every aspect of your life. Remember your core essence and this radiant light space every time you contact another human being. As you remember your light, try to recognize and receive others in their unique essence and inner light as well. Beautiful. I also like to point out, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Doesn't look like it, but trust me when I tell you, you can see it right there. There's a flower of life replicated throughout the whole sun, and the flower of the life is the basic building blocks of all life and all living things. It's a very sacred geometry type of pattern. So I love that. I love that for you, pile number 2. And lastly, we have the star coming out, wishing on a star. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot make this up. The star, blessings, inspiration, and time to shine. This is your time to shine. This is spirit telling you, yes, keep going. We're here cheering you on. Whether you believe in us or not, whether you acknowledge us or not, whether you feel, sense, taste, smell, or just know that we are there or not, know that we are there cheering you on for this new beginning. Your wish is coming true. Celebrate your success. So things are lining up for you, right? We have soar, and your wish is coming true, coming out right over there. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful read. Pile number 2. And change. So change, right? We talked about this before. Change is change. Humans are a creature of habit, and they oftentimes will resist change. But that's just part of the egoic conditioning, and that stems from fear. And fear is an ego illusion, right? It's not even an emotion. It's a conjuring of the ego. So fear isn't real. It's just a false perception, false premise. This is a new season of life. You may have bumps along the way. Your ship may get a bit rocky, but keep going, because there's new bloomings waiting to happen if you choose so. You have to choose it. You have to allow it to happen. Like the little child that falls down, the child doesn't think, oh, you're so stupid. How come you fell down? Man, you don't know anything. You can't do anything right. And if that child were to have that egoic thing already installed in them, I don't think anybody would be walking, right? So we kind of have to get back to that childlike essence and really just learn to love ourselves unconditionally as we go along these bumps. Because, if that egoic were placed in that little child, it would be like, oh, look at that person over there. They can walk easy. Look, they're running. I must be deficient. I must be lacking in something. Oh my gosh, why can't I get it straight? I got to get it together. Okay, well, that's just the ego and the mind chatter. You're dropping into your heart, and that will help you really connect with the core and the essence of who you are, so you can successfully make these changes long lasting. So that is how you can best experience romantic love in your life, is by doing this new project, diligently working on yourself, bringing back your dreams, not expecting it to be a completely smooth ride. There's turbulence with change going on, but you will ultimately soar as you recognize that beautiful light of creation within everybody. That is what I have for you. Pile number 2. Tell me your thoughts, feelings, and emotions in the comments down below. Did this resonate with you? What points were relevant to you? And thank you so much for stopping by today. Peace. Clean up, everybody clean up. Last but not least, pile number 3. Welcome, welcome, pile number 3. If you've chosen pile number 3 with the Amazonite unicorn here, come in the background. We have your reading for what most do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life. So this is the Tarot of Oneness. And for you tarot readers out there, this is her own card. This card is, after the namesake, Oneness. And I'm going to get into this card in just a second. What do I need to know about experiencing a romantic love in my life? We have Oneness. We have 10 of Cups. We have Ace of Cups. And the 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Beautiful, pile number 3. So starting off with the Oneness card, I love that you got this card. I believe she only has 4. Don't quote me on this, but she has a very limited amount of extra cards in her deck, which, by the way, are exquisite. If you've ever heard of this deck before, she does it from the first hand point of view. So very different take on the tarot card. But as we talk to you, pile number 3, about what do I need to know about experiencing a healthy romantic love in my life is that we are all connected. We are all connected. There's that saying, 6 degrees of separation, right? Where you know somebody, like the person that you know also knows somebody that you know, or the stranger that you meet at the grocery store happens to actually be somebody from your childhood home or your childhood city, or you guys went to grade school, or they know your mom, or they knew your dad, or something like that. There's 6 degrees of separation. Even if it seems completely random, like, oh, the new neighbor that just moved in next door is from California, but they grew up in the same hometown as my mom did, or something completely random like that. Like you can't make this up. And it's just because we are all connected on this invisible thread of connectivity. So this card to me, what do I need to know about experiencing a romantic love in my life, is that whether you're in a current relationship, is that we are all connected, or you are looking for love and that love feels abstract to you, or that maybe you feel so incredibly alone. But we are actually all one. And I know it's hard to conceptualize. Native Americans really understand this concept. Native American practices is, we believe that the animals are our brethren, and, the stone in the river carries mana, as we say in Hawaii, or life force energy, or chi for China, or ki for Japan, pranayama, right? Also, everything carries that life force energy. And of course, human beings too. We all share that web of connectivity. And when we remember that, beautiful possibilities, endless possibilities of our greatest desires are open and available to us and are at our fingertips if we are able to acknowledge that. Because I feel like in life we have a tendency to alienate ourselves and individualize ourselves in such compartmental boxes, that I'm like, these are my limits and boundaries and borders, and I'm by myself, and I'm like this, and I do that, which is great for individuality, right? But then on the other side of the coin, we're actually all the same. In our own unique way, if that makes sense. It sounds a bit oxymoronic, but it's just that. And I know you get what I'm saying, pile number 3, as we move on with your reading. So 10 of Cups to me indicates there's a fulfillment that you feel within your family right now, whether you're in a relationship and you feel like this wonderful cohesiveness in your family, or you're looking for that romantic love in your natal family or in your extended family. You feel that kind of connectedness, that fulfillment even. 10 of Cups is a very happily ever after card. It's, where the rainbow meets the jackpot at the end of the rainbow. And, for those of you that had the more traditional dream, it's like having it all, whatever that looks like for you, the white picket fence, the family and the 2 kids and the house, or whatever that means for you. Whatever that looks like for you, because everybody is different in what their happy ending looks like. This is your happy ending. So there's a sense of that feeling already that is in your life right now. And I think that's beautiful for experiencing that romantic love, because you already have this connectivity, this feeling of oneness, this connection with the family. So expanding on that is really going to help intensify that feeling of romantic love in your life. Just really reveling in that and noticing like, hey, I actually have all that I've asked for. Like there was once upon a time that I used to dream about what it is I'm experiencing right now. Once upon a time, I used to dream about where I'm at right now. So sometimes we forget that. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that, because it's easy to kind of accept the way things are and move on, even when it's a blessing. But it's good to just stop and be like, hey, I actually have a lot of what I've been asking for. And I'm really kind of happy. You know, most people find out when they drop down into their true emotions, if they've been feeling maybe even depressed and withdrawn on the surface, they find out that they're actually truly happy. And it's their negative thoughts and negative emotions that keep them from really experiencing or realizing that they're actually truly happy. And the people that are on the surface happy all the time, when they actually drop into their emotions, they experience that they're actually not happy. So 96% of people think they're sad, in other words, think they're depressed, think they're not so happy, think they're not so fulfilled. But that's when they're in their head and when they're in their brain. And when they drop down into their heart, into their true emotions, they actually find out that they're kind of pretty happy. And then, you know, the people that are the smaller percentage, it's the, 4 or 3%, are trying to avoid that kind of feeling. But the majority of people are actually pretty happy, which is, it's a surprise, because, a lot of us tend to like focus on the negative things in our lives, and that makes us feel sad. But when we're not so much in our head and we can relax into the heart, we find we're actually truly fulfilled. Which brings me to the Ace of Cups here, which shows a good balance in self-love, self-appreciation, fulfillment of emotions. You're expressing your emotions, you're sharing your emotions. And if you've ever, it's like your cup runneth over, this is really good. And you have the Dove of Peace here in the center, and the beautiful lotuses here on the side. I love that for you. And it's just, there's endless possibilities for you. There's endless expressions, creative expressions for you in your romantic life and your romantic love or your experiences, when you're coming from this place of self-love, self-value, and self-appreciation. And what kind of gets in the way of that, because this is more of the heart energy, is when you get into your head and you start internalizing negative thoughts or negative beliefs about yourself. That can feel, well, as you can see, shattering a little bit, right? Swords always indicate air energy, mind energy, and the 3 you've created something with that. So you may be creating pain and hardship of being overly critical, judgmental, or hard on yourself. So I just want to get a little bit more into the Ace of Cups for you, pile number 3. Thank you for spending your time with me today. It's such a joy to be here. So it's love and compassion for all things flowing through you, and reception and giving with great possibilities. A sign that your intuition is right on. A sign of spiritual growth and further spiritual instruction is soon to follow. A time of generous giving, making the most of opportunities to help others, having the power to share your inner radiance and positive energy, bringing great happiness to those around you. Your cup overflows. The more you give, the more you receive on multiple levels. With an open heart, this is a great time for creative projects and loving connections, being comfortable in who you are and willing to express it to others. Taking an art class or a creative dance class, etc., letting your imagination and intuition be expressed in new possibilities and projects. Okay, and then with the 3 of Swords in reverse there at the end, you begin to identify with negative inner self-talk and criticisms and perspectives, limiting self-beliefs. Know that you have what it takes to be the person you deserve to be. This can also be hypersensitivity to others' perspectives and beliefs, but I really get for you, pile number 3, that you are perpetuating these negative thoughts on your own. Especially being that it's in reverse. You tend to ruminate on hypercriticism and judgment of yourself, whether it's you as a person, the way you behave in life or in your romantic relationship. It's something that negative thoughts that are going on that you are taking on as truth. Oh, this is just the way that I am, when actually it's a false belief. It's a false premise. And this can also indicate you've experienced a harsh ending or a challenge in the past that has deeply hurt you. but it's in the past, and you've reached a point of acceptance and you're ready to move forward. And know that if you're having a hard time moving forward, you may not be letting go of those painful things that happened to you in the past. It could be something that someone said to you. This could be a relationship gone bad, just kind of sour, kind of hurtful, and lower vibratory lashing out type of energy. You may still be suffering from that. Allow new opportunities to be unclouded by this grief so that they are not passed by. Experience the pain and grieve and understand that as the feelings pass you, you will be able to open the door to new experiences. This is about letting go of those self-perceptions, and if that last relationship, or maybe even just, could even be, your natal parents and negative beliefs you picked up from observing your environment as a child, continuing to perpetuate within yourself by continuing to run those tapes in your head, if that makes sense. So there's new possibilities for you once you're able to let go of those false beliefs of negative thinking there. Moving on. We have Kindred Souls. Ooh. Kindred Souls is coming out right below Oneness. So if you're not in a relationship, Spirit is saying that possibility is there for you once you're able to let go. And if you are in a committed relationship, you have a good thing going. We have Boon. I never knew what that meant. We're going to read the card here in a second. We have True Love. Oh my gosh, pile number 3. This is such a great read for you. And then lastly, we have Blessings in Disguise. So Blessings in Disguise is typically about that silver lining to that perceived negative event that you felt was negative. That it's actually a blessing in disguise. Excuse me. It's usually when life doesn't go how you expected, it goes better, because thank God, if it had gone the way you had thought it was going to go, it would have been a catastrophe. So you were so gung-ho on this certain way of being, but thank God it didn't happen, because if it had, it would have prevented you from experiencing this now beautiful future you get to experience. So we're going to get deeper into these cards, pile number 3. So we have Kindred Souls. You may be experiencing some growing pains in your relationships as new friends come forward and old friends move on. Embrace the new relationships that are coming forward in your life at this time. Know that the new relationships are kindred souls who have much to contribute to the overall well-being of your life. Open your heart and welcome them with open arms. You also may have some old friends who are moving in a different direction. Let them go with peace and love, and know that if they are meant to be in your life, they will be back when the timing is right for the both of you. It is okay to grieve for the friends who are moving on, but make sure that you remember to enjoy the new relationships that are moving in. Spirit wants to remind you that throughout your journey, you will experience many relationship changes. And even though you may feel lonely during this time, you can trust that it is only temporary. Use this time to reconnect with yourself and to learn from your past friendships. What blessing did this relationship bring into your life? And the blessing may even be, well, this past relationship was so derogatory towards me, it really actually made me have to stand up for myself and finally take a stand in self-love and saying, you know what? I think that's baloney. And it doesn't feel good for me to believe that about myself, so I'm going to step away from that belief and choose to believe in myself. And finally, that might be the best gift that person has ever given you. Sometimes the best gift people give you is an example of what not to do or how you don't want to be treated. Spirit wants to remind you that throughout your journey, you will experience many relationship changes. And even though you may feel lonely during this time, you can trust that this is only temporary. Use this time to reconnect with yourself and to learn from your past friendships. What blessing did this relationship bring into your life? What lessons did you learn about yourself through this relationship, and what would you do differently moving forward? This card is also a reminder for you to choose friendships that are equal and not one-sided. It is never a healthy situation to be in when one person is making all the effort. Let go of the friendships that are fading away and embrace the new ones that are on their way. So I love that for you, pile number 3. I do get that there is a new energy coming into your life. And for you, those of you that are in committed relationships, this may be kindred souls. Kindred souls doesn't always have to mean romantic. And that is going to cause enrichment in your life and help you to be more open and available to your romantic partner. And if you don't have a romantic partner in your life, this is telling you that these kindred souls that are in your life now or that are on their way to you is part of that web of oneness, that vortex that you've created and you've asked for, and will ultimately enrich and enliven your life to emotional fulfillment with your relationships, which then up levels you to attract that romantic partner, right? Because law of attraction, that's going to happen. So 68, we get to learn about boon. Whatever you have been asking for is on its way now. You are being blessed in every area of your life. This card is a symbol of good karma, good luck, and good fortune. Take a moment to acknowledge all the good deeds you have done in your life. Spirit wants you to know that it is as if you have an invisible savings account that is accruing interest. Oh, I love that thought. This is exactly what is happening with you on an energetic level. Blessings are all around you now. The only thing that is keeping them from you is your inability to receive. That comes with the 3 of Swords, right? Their beliefs and those negative judgments that kind of get in the way of receiving. What are some of the ways you keep yourself from receiving? Do you have beliefs that keep you stuck in a pattern of only receiving just enough to get by? Spirit wants you to know that when you receive, you are the type of person who will share that with others. How much more could you do, create, or contribute when you allow yourself to receive? Open your arms out wide and say to the universe, I am ready to receive. I am worthy, and I allow gifts from the universe to bless me in every area of my life. These blessings will come in the form of synchronicities, or they could come in the form of an offering from someone who feels guided to share something with you. Whatever form they take, it is important for you to say yes to them. Say yes to the blessings that are coming your way and allow yourself to receive. So I like that. It goes a lot with the one-sided of always giving, being the one that gives. I think Kindred Souls talked about that. Learning to receive is often hard for us doers and givers out there because there's this, block that I don't want to say block because block is not the right word at all. There's this resistance to receiving because it feels uncomfortable, but that's no reason to not allow that generosity to come in, because you do deserve it and you are practicing that self-love. So we have true love. Gosh, what a beautiful card. Romance is in the air when this card arrives in your reading. And what better time for this card to show up for what do I need to know about experiencing romantic love in my life, a healthy romantic love in my life? Well, you've got the true love card, pile number 3. Understand that you are co-creating with your partner, and this means that you are a mirror for each other. So that if you're in a relationship, you're co-creating with your partner. And if you're not, then your partner that is on the way to you, you're going to be excellent at working together and having that good chemistry. You are direct reflections of what the other needs to resolve within yourselves. Because of this, it may not always be a smooth ride, but it is one filled with passion and connection. The connection may not always feel as strong as it did in the beginning of your relationship, but that does not mean that it is not there. The potential for sparks to fly and things to get exciting is definitely in the works between you and your romantic partner. If your question is regarding your partner, the answer to your question becomes dependent upon your willingness to see through an illusion. to work through your own inner conflict and to see yourself as worthy of love. This is where the Three of Swords in reverse comes into play. Let go of the need to get something in return for your love. When you can love yourself unconditionally, you will also send that love to your relationships. See your partner as a reflection of yourself, the opposite version of you, and ask yourself, what is going on within my relationship that is a direct reflection of what is going on with me? This card is also a positive sign that if you have not yet met this person already, they are headed into your life and are already connected to you on a soul level. That's why I've got the Oneness card in the beginning there, guys. Whether or not they come into your life depends on your willingness to open your heart to receive the love that is on its way to you. Woo! I love that. Pile number 3. I just can't get any better than that. So blessing in disguise. This blessing in disguise reminds me of the typical storyline of a romance. What is it? Rom-com? What are they called? I don't know. But where this beautiful person is wanting true love, and then this seemingly opposite person comes into their life, their coworker, someone they're assigned to, someone they're kind of quote unquote stuck with, that seems to make their life miserable. And it just seems like they make their life harder, and like all these things come up and they seem to be challenged and all this stuff happens, when actually they find out that the heart of this person is very, very positive and very much in alignment with who they are. They just express it differently and they act it differently, and they're actually like the best match for them. As they say, opposites attract. And I like this card because that's kind of what it reminds me of, blessings in disguise. So this situation is not what it seems. You may be surprised to find that you are asked for something quite different from what you received. Your original reaction may be one of confusion as you ask, why? Why would this happen? This card comes to tell you to reconsider if you think it is not the right job or opportunity or person or circumstance for you. You may feel as if the universe has made a mistake. There may be even a situation that seemed to go terribly worse than what you had first imagined. It could even be a situation that fell through at the last minute after you believed it to be the answer to your prayers. Be careful not to judge too soon. The universe makes no mistakes, and you did nothing wrong to attract this situation. In fact, this is a blessing in disguise. If you had plans that suddenly fell through at the last minute, know that this is for your highest good now. If you have absolutely no control over this seemingly upsetting situation, it is time to allow and accept that there is a plan. Things are never as they seem, and this situation holds within it a surprise ending that will surely be a blessing in disguise. You are being asked to let go of all judgments and trust that the universe will deliver in the most unexpected ways. So if I were to go back to my example of the single person that wants their romantic love to come into their life, and this other person shows up, like, oh my gosh, you're like opposite of what I had ever hoped or dreamed of. But when you're willing to look beyond that rough exterior and you feel that intuitive pull in your heart, you're able to receive the blessings that you were asking for this whole time. Just didn't show up the way you thought. And then lastly, for you, pile number 3, well, not lastly, but we have our inner child healing oracle. We have face your fear of rejection. Face your fear of rejection. When you experience the feeling of being rejected, you may tend to withdraw and leave your world by fantasizing about a world you would rather live in, or a partner you would rather have, or a situation you would rather be in. You create distance between yourself and the people and environment around you. You keep waiting for the perfect external circumstances and the perfect life to magically happen, forgetting that you are the creator and that you are responsible for your own life. When this card surfaces, take a moment to look at your life and ask, am I in resistance to life? What am I actually waiting for? Is it an invitation to mature as a human being, to start living by taking responsibility for your life, even though fear may be present? No more waiting and no more blaming. Freedom and liberation await you when you face your fear of rejection and take charge of your own being. At the end of your day and at the end of your life, you are the one who needs to be there for yourself the most. You write your own stories through your thoughts, actions, and speech. Your practice. Instead of numbing or distracting yourself or always being busy or hiding, rather than rejecting your life, allow yourself to sit and name the fear of rejection. Name and acknowledge the feelings you feel that stand in the way of you fully living your life. Feel the feelings and the fear in your body and notice the belief or perception you may have around rejection. Slow down and feel the suffering you have gone through by holding on to this belief or perception. See, we talked about that in the beginning of this read. Being wounded and carrying those wounds or perpetuating those wounds with your own self-talk. Place your hand on your heart or wherever you need support and whisper to yourself, please be kind. Please trust your heart. To close the practice of acknowledging, soothing, and facing your fear of rejection, journal through the following question. What is my first right step to truly start living my life fully? What is my first right step to truly start living my life fully? And lastly, pile number 3, we have for you caution. And I knew we were going to get this card too. So this caution card speaks to the web you weave with your patterns of thoughts and beliefs and what other people tell you and wounds that you have in your past. This is keep your guard up. And I say it's keep your guard up, meaning be conscious of the web you are weaving with the stories you tell yourself. So be cautious of that because that's what's going to close you from receiving that and experiencing that romantic love in your life, is if you have that sort of judgmental, sort of critical mindset or belief that can kind of block you, or even feelings of unworthiness, or it's always ended badly in the past, so why would it be different now? And really just recognizing that as ego and an old tape that keeps running in your head, and hijack that tape with a new story, the one that you want. The story that you want, because you have really good things coming to you, pile number 3, if you haven't already began to experience them. I mean, this is like really beautiful cards here. It's really a matter of getting out of your own way and kind of the web that you're weaving. So caution on that. Just pay attention. That means just pay attention to those, your own trip ups, and how you get caught in your own web of justification, of believing that negative story again, right? Because the ego is very convincing. The ego likes to base things on facts and past experience, but the mind, which is where the ego originates from, has no conception of future events. The mind can only try to think about what might happen. It's the heart that has the knowingness of what your future has in store for you and what your guides have in store for you that you've been asking for this whole time, if you're willing to let it in and get out of that head space, that logic space, dropping into your intuition and dropping into your heart. And we have lesson. Wisdom through mistakes. See, I feel like there's a blessing in disguise. Maybe it was a past relationship that was a blessing in disguise, because this past experience, whether it was from your natal family or an ex or whatever, hurt you in a certain way. Whatever happened in that manner, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a lesson, because I always forget. You can leave it in the comments below if anybody remembers, but there's a Japanese tradition of when something breaks, it is not useless. They actually put it back together with gold. The cracks are all gold inlays, and it becomes a more valuable piece because it broke and because they were able to put it back together. Yeah, so I feel like that is definitely speaking that to you, pile number 3. And lastly, we have joy. So your inner child is here to play. So don't forget your inner child in all of this. And remember to embrace them. because your inner child really holds that innocence, that self-love and acceptance, because we're not born into this life feeling all judgy of ourselves and self-critical and carrying wounds from our past life as we're born and we learn how to crawl and walk. We don't carry that around. We're free, we're open, you know, and then those become learned behaviors from society and experiences, yeah? But when we're able to watch that web we weave with our mind, it even mimics the broken glass over here, even this as well. We learn that we had really beautiful lessons from that experience, and it wasn't all bad, because we became more whole, more complete, and stronger and more resilient from experiencing that, which has led us to have greater fulfillment and reach heights we never thought we could reach before. Like that thing, it didn't go as planned, it went better. Thank God. Thank God, because now we can experience a totally different reality without letting that other stuff hold us back. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. Let me know what parts resonated with you, how you like this reading, and thank you for stopping by The Craft of Living, and we'd love to see you again. Peace, guys. Until next time.